Hi you guys, it's me Arden Lee. I am back with another video, and in today's video I want to talk about a phenomenon that happens when you have been on a journey of personal development for some time and you run into a friend who maybe you knew before you went through all of your growth, who may love you and may have the best of intentions, but treats you like you're still the same person that you were before you went on that journey. And I want to share that with you because that's something that happened to me recently. And oh my gosh, you guys, it was so disheartening as an experience. But, you know, I sat with it, I owned where it came from, and I recognized that there was really no need for me to get defensive about it. So I want to share that with you because if you're on this path of personal development as well, it's likely that this will happen to you at some point too. So um, anyway, if you're not yet familiar with my work, my name is Arden Lee, and I developed the Repatterning Project, which is an 8-week online container in which we accelerate our personal growth and our spiritual development with a comprehensive view of our human operating system, how our beliefs and patterns and mindsets form. And we give ourselves the power to go in and change those beliefs at the root, to identify where they formed, and forgive ourselves, and understand like why they, why we assimilated those beliefs in the way that we did, those habits and those mindsets, and then to be able to change them going forward. So naturally, like when you do all of that work, then you run into someone who like doesn't see that about you, and the 5 minutes that you spend talking to them or whatever. It can be disheartening, but it's but it's also fine. It's also anyway, I'll get into that. But before I dive in, I do want to let you guys know that the next iteration of the Repatterning Project starts June 30th, and I am enrolling now. There are still some spots left. I'm so excited. This container is already shaping up to have some really amazing individuals in it, and I just love when we take the group and it's like we all get on a boat and it just goes, we just like go with the current that we're all experiencing. It's so exciting. So if you're feeling it, if you're feeling called, reach out to me, shoot me a PM, and yeah, let's chat about whether it is a good fit for you for where you're at in your stage of development. All right, cool. So so earlier this week, I ran into someone who had been a friend of mine back in New York City when I lived there, and I hadn't seen her for about 3 years. Actually, the last time I had seen her in person was really right at the start of my sort of catalyzing this journey, setting this intention. It was, it was like March 2016 when stuff started really accelerating for me. And at least that was like the first, one of the first accelerations anyway. There were several. There were several that happened, but yeah, it was right around then, and I ran into her, and we were really happy to see each other. And she's someone who's super cool, super supportive, and but I shared with her some of the things that were going on for me in my present, my present life, and like, hey, this is so cool. Look what's happening with this and that, and I guess I didn't really share enough details, or she, wasn't present enough in within. Edgar, what are you meowing about? You all right, bud? Sorry, you guys. My cat is meowing. You okay? Come here. Um, so, so when I tried to share some of my good news with her, I understood. Come here. I'm making a video right now, so whatever's going on, you're gonna have to chill. So I could kind of understand where, not knowing, not having witnessed everything that that I've been, been working on, been going through, been changing about my life. I could understand where, just given this, kind of small piece of information, that she would think that I was kind of back on my bullshit, and she was just like, ugh, Arden, like, when will you learn, or whatever. And the details aren't really important, but I found myself wanting to be like, no, this is different. Trust me. This is an entirely different thing that I'm talking about. And we were in a situation where there were like a couple people around us, and then the conversation just kind of got derailed. Like someone else started talking about something else, and I just had this moment where I was just like, I don't really need to say anything. Like I don't need to prove where I'm at. I know what's true for me in my heart. I know what I've been guided to learn and experience. I know where I'm at. I know what makes me happy. I know, just because something looks similar to situations that I've been in the past, not everything about you is going to change, You're still, for me, for example, it's like I'm still goth, I'm still me. I'm still passionate about the same things that I'm passionate about. And, and I'm still, there's so much that's in my heart that hasn't changed. It's just that the expression of my heart is now vibrating at a higher level. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that I'm finding ways of attracting and manifesting, right? Things that are still in alignment with my energetic signature. But I'm doing it in a way that's much more healthy because I'm unwilling to compromise on certain standards, right? So in the past, I might have wanted things or pursued things or done things that were unhealthy for me, right? I made several compromises in my own well-being, in my own, in my finances, in my capacity for emotional intimacy or whatever it was, to pursue things that were really not ultimately going to nourish me. And I don't do that anymore, right? like now it's like, no, there's really nothing, there's nothing that is worth to me that kind of stress. If something is causing me stress, if something is causing me pain or sadness, then that's a sign that I need to detach from it and let it show up the way that it's going to show up. And but I'm still, there are things that I'm either attracting or pursuing or engaging with, energetically speaking, that may resemble some of the same energetic signatures of things that I attracted or pursued in my past, but which are showing up without any need for me to compromise my own well-being, my own, my standards for what actually makes me happy or fulfills me, So, so yeah, what I want to say about that is that your friends from the past, if you're just catching up with them quickly and you're sharing your good news with them, they might not be able to see the difference, and that's fine, because you don't require anyone else's understanding or validation, because you know what's true for you in your heart. And it might be tempting to want to defend yourself, and if you do that, go ahead. I think I did that for maybe like 10 seconds, and then I was just like, there's no point, it'll shake out the way it shakes out, and great. Whatever. And this is different from you guys have seen me talk before about the friends who witness your expansion, and because of their trauma bonds or their attachment to staying in, the vibration that you had met them in before, when you start growing, they start getting resentful of you, or they start, wanting to pull you back down, or saying, who do you think you are, that you're trying to be better, or whatever, I don't recognize you anymore, they make you feel guilty. This is not the same thing as that. This is a friend who, who is from your past, who really loves you and cares about you and wants to be supportive of you, but doesn't realize perhaps that you don't need the same kind of support or caretaking or warnings, you know, that maybe you used to in the past, that you actually have learned discernment for yourself and you can tell what's showing up for you in a way that's healthy. So I wanted to share that story with you because, again, if it's happening to me, if you're on the same path, then it's likely to happen to you at some point too. And there's really nothing to be done about it except just to know that it's going to happen and your friend still cares about you. And just because they're not capable of seeing you in that moment doesn't mean that what's true for you isn't still true for you. And you don't have to defend yourself and you don't have to explain anything because you know what's right for you in your heart. If you're at that point where you do trust your own discernment, you know, yeah, you get to call the shots on your journey and things will play out as they will play out. And hopefully your friend, you know, somewhere down the line will see that, you know, they'll see the fruits of your labors and they'll see how different things are for you. And, you know, things will be what they will be, and don't take it personally. And just remember that, you know, they really do care about you. If they're, you know, people can sometimes concern troll us a little bit beyond the point where we actually require it or need it. Not like maybe we ever required it in the first place. But yeah, just let it happen. It's normal. And, you know, in your heart, thank them for their good intentions toward you and continue to trust your own judgment. Because if something is calling to you, you know, there's a reason. So thank you guys for watching. Hope this was helpful, and I will see you next time.